Everybody, this is Perch. On a recent live stream, I was on with Yul Carter of Fantastic Comics, and you have to subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. Please do. Yul's a great guy, and he's got good insights, and it was a very fun conversation between retailers. It was one of the most fun conversations I've had because it was different, right? I love all the conversations I have. I'm not ranking them in any way, but I just loved having what felt like a retailer talk. It was enjoyable. And one of the parts that I enjoyed was we talked about this issue of the giant stacks and comic shops. And for whatever reason, this is a topic that people hold on to, and they hold on to weirdly. And I don't get why. I've talked to some of the bigger YouTubers who've been very negative, certainly about Marvel and some of their practices. And they are also confused about why people kind of hang on to this giant stacks of comics myth. This idea that Marvel is forcing people to buy, say Captain Marvel because they want Captain Marvel to win. That is not the case. Just for reference sake, because again there were several arguments in the comments about this. It was weird, people getting into it. Marvel and all of these companies certainly do have minimums of what you can order, but that's for everything. If you wanted to order nothing but champions and only champions, you could do that. It's within the rules for you to do that. You would not get the variant covers for, say, Black Panther if you ordered zero Black Panther and nothing but like 10,000 copies of champions, but you could do it. Somebody might call you up to see if you were drunk or made a mistake, or hopefully it's actually funny. Diamond in particular would call you up saying, hey, did you make a mistake here? And this is a nice thing, because sometimes when you're putting numbers in or whatever you're doing, you might add in a zero where you don't plan for one, or rather be surprised by some abnormally massive order. It's nice for them to follow up. But they're following up because they think you screwed up, not because there's some kind of corporate shakedown saying you got to order Captain Marvel. But one of the things that Yul remarked on, which is absolutely true, is no retailer in their right mind would put a giant stack of comics on the shelf. So let's say you do order, say, 100 copies of Fantastic Four #1 because you've got some big customers who want the variants, and you're going to profit off of it. But you're also going to have 100 copies of Fantastic Four #1. Most retailers that are not dumbasses will put 10 copies on the shelf and leave 90 copies in a box somewhere in the back or behind the counter, or basically somewhere where people can't see it. This is a normal practice. This is a practice that is done in more places than just comics. This is also done with toys, with video games, with soap. I think grocery stores will occasionally do this with food. This is a normal thing for people to do. It's called, you don't just throw all your stock up on the shelf all at once and go, I hope all this sells. That would be stupid. Now, I got a response. So we talked about this on the live stream about, that's a dumb retailer. I mean, and it's like, it was one of the nice parts about the conversation with Yul, is refreshing, because they're just is honest, right? That is a dumb retailer who does that. I mean, I have many friends who are retailers who have done that dumb move. But it is still dumb, even though they're friends, and I will happily buy them a beer and think they're really wonderful people. That's still stupid. I got a note though that was surprising to me, but kind of sums up. I get tired from time to time at the culture war and everything that goes along with it, because it causes people to do things and say things that are just dumb. And I'm just hoping that the face behind these comments, like a 14-year-old. I'm praying it's not some middle-aged man or woman that are writing some of this stuff. So anyway, the comment comes, and basically it's this: why are you covering for SJWs? Whenever the statement leads off with something like this, I know I'm in for a good time. But why are you covering with SJWs and encouraging retailers to be deceptive in hiding the unsellable comics? I thought you liked comics. This is deceptive. You are a liar. Okay. So this is what I mean by, we've gotten to this point where the extreme kind of viewpoints are causing people to say and think just ludicrous things. Why is that ludicrous? Well, first off, because this has nothing to do with SJW or non SJW or woke or conservative or liberal or any of those things. It has to do with basic marketing and just basic retail. If you put out just boxes and boxes and boxes of cereal just on the floor in your grocery store, you just put a giant mountain of cereal. For whatever psychological reason, people are more likely to bypass the giant mounds of cereal boxes in exchange for the one that looks a little bit more scarce. It's because something inside their brain goes, if there's tons of excess capacity, that must mean it's not very good. I would rather have the more rare one. And what's curious about that is even like my 7-year-old understands this concept of, she will go into the store and she'll look at the toys and she'll go, I really want this one, pointing to like a doll or something. But there's a lot of that one, and there's only one of this one over here I don't really like. Maybe I should get this one I don't really like because it seems more rare, so it's probably more valuable. And then, mom and I have to go, okay, this isn't, you should get what you want. You should not care about what you think is popular or not popular. You should, but we're almost hardwired in to want things that are more rare, because if it's rare, then, it must be more desirable. If it's more desirable, that's the one I want, not the stupid thing that I think I want. I want the one that's actually rare. This is how people are wired to think. It's one reason why you have in dating. There is a joke of you have this woman, wonderful personality, average looks, and she had to work much harder, even though she was going to be more fun to hang around with, definitely, financially stable, just all around better company, told good jokes, whatever it happened to be. This is the one you want to be with. But guys would bend over backwards to go with the raving bitch lunatic who was more attractive, because it's like, wow, I got it. That one's more desirable. So even though it's not what I want, I still feel like I need to chase that one. It's something about that going on. So no, if a retailer decides to, basically a basic marketing technique, put only part of the comics up on the shelf in the hopes that they don't look like they're just a giant clearinghouse for Fantastic Four #1. That's called good business. Is it deceptive? No. Not putting all your stock out at once is not deceptive. Now, to be clear, if the retailer put signs up, they basically got 100 copies of Fantastic Four, but #1, put 90 of them behind the shelf, put 10 of them up, and then put a sign up saying, selling like crazy, almost sold out. That's lying. That's deceptive. But basically, just putting a few titles up on the shelf so you don't have this giant wad of books sitting there, that's not lying. That's just being good at your business. Nobody wants to see these giant stacks of comics up on the shelf. That's not covering for the SJWs. That's just managing your business like a normal person, not a dumb lunatic. But the fact that, basic business practices somehow get connected to the culture war, it drives me nuts. Doesn't it you? I mean, God damn it. Who in their right mind looks at every single thing through a lens of extremism? By the way, this is the same personality type that looks at things and goes, this title doesn't have enough color on the cover. It is racist. That it's the same people who are hardwired to look at everything through a microscope of their own ideology. And that is truly broken. Those people are nuts. They're not happy. They're not happy. The people they're talking to aren't happy. The poor me YouTuber who's having to listen to this crap is not happy. Like, nobody's happy with this. But it is striking to it. Here's the sad part. It always catches me off guard every time. It's like I was on some panel and what were we talking about? It was we were talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates and his commentary on if creators were mistreated at Marvel. And one person in the chat's like, This conversation shouldn't be happening because there's no black or brown people on the panel. It's like, nobody's talking about race. Race actually was not part of the topic at all. They're talking about what creators deserve royalties out of Marvel. The only racial aspect of it is that Ta-Nehisi Coates is the one that made the comment. There was no like, and the black and brown people are being discriminated against. There's none of that. It was purely royalties. And yet, somebody has to listen to that commentary and go, that racist. I don't know how best to hold up the mirror to go, if you look at shelves of comics and you see the store owner wisely not throwing all of their stock up on the shelf all at once, so it looks like this embarrassing collection of comics. If your first instinct is, oh, they're covering for the SJWs. If that's your first instinct, you need detoxification. I mean, this is like one of those, you need to flush that system. Seriously, you've lost it. You've lost the plot. If you look at a channel where they're talking about royalties owed to creators, and your first instinct is this is racist somehow, you need detox. You gotta. You need to go into a system. I'm really resisting the urge to say camp. You gotta go. You gotta go into one of those. Like those treatment centers, like the Betty Ford Clinic, and they've got to depoison your brain because it's not healthy to look through everything through that freaking lens. And here's the other secret: you're annoying the shit out of everyone when you do that. 95% of the people are annoyed. Are annoyed by this constant desire to pull everything into whatever extremist side you're on. It makes comics not fun. It really does. And there are plenty of things to be angry about. There are agendas at play. There on all sides, there definitely are agendas that go on. You've got to learn how to distinguish between somebody actually doing something manipulative versus not wanting to put all the comics. This conspiracy over ordering on comics borders on madness. This is an intervention. You back off that ledge. You've taken it too far. Seriously, there's plenty of things: nepotism hiring, how books are getting promoted. There are plenty of things to be upset about. To say, yeah, this is a group of people who are pushing a agenda of some kind. There are plenty of examples of that. Comic shops ordering hundreds of copies of something in order to get variant covers that they're going to sell for a profit, and then have excess capacity of those comics, and like a dumbass put them all up on the shelf because they've lost the will to live and they don't care about their life anymore. That's not an agenda. That's just dumb. And we're all going to be better off if we just start calling it the way it is. Anyway, thanks to Yoel for what was a great conversation. Even though we got this stupid comment, I got this stupid comment, not him. He's safe. It's always worth it talking to you. Anyway, there you go. Just back off the ledge just a tiny bit. I promise it'll be okay. It'll be okay. You can still be on alert, but don't get up to the ledge and look over it, but don't lean over the edge. That should be enough. Thanks for listening.